Okay.
Awesome. Yes, sir.
Mhm. Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. There it is.
Look at it. So what are you doing over here?
We're live streaming the event so that family members that are not here can still be part of it.
Oh, okay. When my niece's other side of the family
Hmm.
grandfather died, they were in the Midwest, and Katie was there in Ponte Vedra, and she watched it because she was like 9 months pregnant. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And
we,
she really, I think that meant a lot.
Mhm.
yeah.
That
I mean, we have people who are not well enough to come.
Right. Yeah, we sent out the link to everyone.
Well, hello. Hey. How you doing? How are you doing?
Yeah, somebody asked what they I do the weddings and I do the memorials and
You guys just do that holiday every week.
which one?
Whichever one you want. Oh, that's so nice. How are you? No, no.
Attention. Yeah.
Thanks for dripping on in. I'm sure she does. Well,
But in this movement,
Is this okay here? This is where we should sit here.
oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Say the words. She said yes. I like that. What about you? Would you like some water? Or the heck? I don't know.
Yeah, actually, excuse me.
Oh, that's what those things
Needed that because before is before.
Okay, so that name is. You have an order.
I like that. Hi, I'm Julia. I'm Bart. I'm Bart. Yep. This is what I found out. Oh, okay. Yeah. Just.
So I'll just say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, honey. Good. Oh my gosh, we've been shopping.
I wrote 2 and 4 instead of 3 and 5.
Did you shop? That's okay. Well, we good because it's just nipples, but there will be one. I'm actually doing that. Oh, yeah.
So
I hear you.
are you doing well today? Might be not my business now.
Well, no, I'm just. Somewhere over this way.
She is like, that would be.
Well, she's really busy.
Okay, I hope so, but I thought. She was really excited about doing it.
Well, yeah, this is the party part, but something, yeah.
I was hoping it wasn't. Is what I was saying.
Well, that's kind
Huge responsibility.
Well, I'm glad you found.
But they travel a lot, don't they? The Rob and.
I know.
They
Hey,
travel
how
a
are
lot.
you, sir?
Got kids and they want to be
Hi,
there.
John.
Hi, good to see you. How have you been? Good, 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 good.
Are you on your bike? Okay, no, that's all right.
Yeah, Robert and I took Robert
I can get.
And I
Yeah, I'll get one. Of course. No, that'd be great.
Oh, I go to advance.
So, but we really like it, and I hope someone. Problems who sort of takes on.
They, grew up in Oakland. Well, Penny was 4 months old. Picture. Harry went to early elementary school.
There's a bed, you know that. I wanted to help. I was just curious about that.
You know what? I didn't hear that.
There are spaces and places.
Let me get you.
Yeah, I was getting ready to send you a note because they're doing a study on this project director, help out. You better.
I look up to the other guy.
Oh, yeah, you No, actually, we only have to send it to you.
I want your autograph. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just sit here. I said that.
Doesn't matter.
Unless you have better space.
We could go down there. I was saying when he was there, and I was like, yeah, I drove by it a million times. But it's hard to get off of X13, the house, 45.
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, no, I lost it. Yeah, I did. Well, where did he go? I know. Hi, darling. So, they said, I saw you in physical therapy. I recognized you. It's like some of these candidates,
You know, one.
I was hard a lot of people. I went to my other side. As things that I don't know. Well, we're seeing bold things. I see all that. He works there, doesn't he? No, yes and no, we're still playing. Carlos, so pretty. Oh, that's. I like him. He's getting into the paint. Yes. Yay. Already getting one of his jobs. Already don't have to. He said the wrinkle. He said. Yeah, I know we have. Wow.
That's fine. Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
How are buddy everybody?
I did all that, all set up
Oh, yeah. Oh, really? So enjoyed it. Oh, wait, I was just saying, I love you say. Okay, you're different.
So my breakfast. There was another meeting at 8:30. What was it going on? That's nice. So we want to get out.
You were looking for something so much later.
2 hours to heat them up.
Yeah. Great. It was a great, good show.
What? Hey there, Ira. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to see you.
It's nice to see you.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Where do I go? Oh, a rose. Exactly right. Hi, how are you? from seeing you.
Yeah, hey.
Glad to hear it.
Oh, I see.
So is there a place for cards, or are you just sticking them somewhere?
I don't know. I don't You're in charge. Melanie's a better seat for tonight. Yeah.
You know Melanie? John? My husband Steve? Okay.
Never forgotten about that. You know,
Everybody get a hanky except for me? A hanky? I don't know, but you got a hanky. I hope we're not gonna cry. I hope we're not gonna cry. There you are.
Second line. I guess so.
Well, but thinks that you're waking up.
No, I think everybody has it.
So, but, you know, you put a little thing on the side down, the ringer on the other shirt.
I'm always
Top button. It flips. No, you don't have to do it.
Jay and I didn't know him so well. I saw
Where is it?
I'm so glad. Jay, I thought.
Oh, no, that's not. Yeah. No, that's on your watch. Computer mode is on your watch. This is quite good. You have your watch on? Yes. So, no, you're not there.
Yeah.
All right. But it does mean you have to turn it back. The screen is to check your timing. Well, yeah, but you also won't be able to see There's an idea. We all got it. I want to say, oh, year next year. So computer. Yeah. So that's a big question.
Sorry about that.
Let's read all kinds of instructions. One day I might. It's not necessarily I think it's much better to have. So they had your gift this time. You go to Really?
I finally got it, got it started up with lots of layers.
Somebody might be sitting here.
Yeah.
I'd like mine to be a little trickier than my original. And it doesn't have any.
Well, it looks wonderful.
It looks neat. You know, that's sort of okay. I'd like to be a little bit more decorative.
But I like this I don't I could let it air dry and then just go.
That's what I want. I actually have to blow dry, but I also have blow natural. And they don't wait.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, so. Look what a nice picture. I missed it.
Brenda? Yeah. I'm sorry. We're gonna have demolition work in the house on Wednesday.
I have to look around and see those people that
Yes, yes. I'm taking to the east wing of the house and I have total approval and everybody's. And it's gonna be big. There's commission.
There's something. Well, we're having demolition 16, so it doesn't interfere with our.
How are you? Yeah, and also
On steroids.
We're in the AV. Oh, we're sorry. No.
I know. I don't.
yeah.
Oh, I remembered my classes. That's fortunate.
I don't do much. Chrissy, that's right.
Hey, Christy.
Hi, Christy, how are you?
Sorry. Harry was an exceptionally cute kid. Yeah. That I don't. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Alan with you? I was speaking of Alan. Hey, sweetie.
I know you probably don't have every month.
Oh, that's what Mr. Larry.
Yeah.
That's Harry's
For-
dog.
Far side of the family. Linda's not. That's Harry's dad with the white shirt. Do you need the seat?
No.
I don't.
Yep, you're good. Just making sure everything's in frame.
Oh, because it's going to be.
It's a live stream for the event.
It's a live stream.
Yep, we got
Okay.
11
All right.
people online.
Great.
Yeah, we should be good.
All right. I just don't want to be called on to do any AV stuff.
You're all set.
That would be very embarrassing.
Even if it's not white. Yeah.
There's a nice community, you know. It works well.
Oh, I would love that.
It is you.
Yeah, I would love
It's
to.
not
Doing
very
okay. I'm.
You know, we have.
I've been, trying to lose weight, and I have finally said, all right, I'm cutting back
I'll be
on
back, like
alcohol,
the end of
cutting
the
back
month, I have
on
another
food.
demo thing here.
I'm
so
gonna
you're
walk
gonna
when I need to walk,
But I wanted to come here for that.
and because I
But
just
I just want you to know,
absolutely have to
we're
lose weight.
walking upstairs.
Flat period. I mean, I think I gave
Sure, I'll
it
be back. Yeah.
like a 75%. I tried
Yeah, I
to lose
missed
weight
all
without
your
changing
faces.
my habits, and it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. She's my new house.
Makeup
I'm trying to convince
She
my
was
audience
domestic today. She made bread and it smells good.
You would find never
cook fewer large meals, and if we have them, we have them earlier.
House
Maybe
makes
skip
out.
lunch and have something at 3 and go walk in the afternoon or something,
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Go figure, huh?
Hi. Good. I like your hair.
I did. Yeah.
Just till tomorrow. How you feeling?
That was
All right,
fun.
slow walk.
Caroline got wheeled back and forth from that assisted living facility to the hospital. I mean, I did it several times because it made no sense to have an ambulance come. It was like a 5-minute little walk on streets that don't have cars.
Has, I guess, multiple myeloma. And she ended
Carrying
up having to get all
Chris-
that kind of thing done, took out all her antibodies, put in new, all that stuff. And it was, she's doing great, she's in remission. But I mean, it's a long haul during, but when it's over, it's gonna be good.
And it was when there's lots of ways to treat everything with their
I've been waiting for you to quit talking, so I wait myself. I got my hug here right where I want.
The grace of friendship, mind and heart, linked with their fellow heart and mind, the gains of science, the gifts of art, the sense of oneness with our kind, a thirst to know and to understand, a large and liberal discontent. These are the goods in life's rich hand, the things that are more excellent. Written 1878. For more information, see Harry Green. Today in our gathering, there are a couple of things that are important there with you. There's a program to tell you when the food will be ready. There's a white handkerchief on your chair that'll be important later, and a Tootsie Roll Pop that can be enjoyed now if your sugar drops. I see you look at me blankly, I'll say, do that. Order of the service, words to songs. You're going to hear many voices today, and over all those voices, let that be the words that we just heard from Mr. Watson, that these are the things that are more excellent. Now, let's sing.
Singing the songs are on the back. So I'm told, someone said, singing is praying twice. So sing loud, you can't make a mistake, they're easy songs. Don't judge me. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
The songs today were chosen because they were favorites of Harry, and they tell story. So I'm glad you've come in today. We have so much sound and moments outside of us that sometimes we don't listen to the sound and the song within us. When we come to gatherings like this, gatherings of great love, we need to be quiet enough inside to, in our own way, to give thanks, in our own way to pray, in our own way to draw from the love of a life that we honor, the life we have, and the lives that surround us. So these next few moments, As the bell rings, I invite you to go inside in quiet, thoughtful prayer and reflection. Thank you. As we continue in remembering Harry, some family and friends are going to come and to share their knowing and understanding and love and story of Harry for us. Christy, Harry, Four. Call you Four? Is that what they call you? Penny, John Hart, and Thea Seagraves. When you come up, if you would just tell us who you are and your connection to Harry, and then in that order, we will go from there. Okay? All right, Christy, come on.
Wow, it's great to see so many people here. So, my mother and father attended Center College in Kentucky. During the summer break in 1962, they eloped to Faith Chapel on Jekyll Island and lived in Brunswick until returning to school. We have long ties to Jekyll Island that continued throughout my life when we spent every summer making a trip here, and then Fernandina once Harry and Linda moved here. Later in his life, in the last 4 years, we had a very fun relationship. We went to Walmart for candy, jelly beans, Peeps, Tootsie Roll Pops. If you have a red Tootsie Roll Pop on your seat, that has the greatest currency. Maybe a stuffed animal, especially for the ones that play the songs when you push their hands. We would go to Baxter's for steaks, have mani-pedis, ice cream downtown, all the fried food we could eat, seeing Tiffany at Beach Diner, and going for more ice cream and sweets with Natalie. There were so many things I would have loved to have talked to him more later in his life, but I didn't get the chance. And it's a good reminder to us all to not leave the important things until it is too late. But I want to tell you about the Harry I grew up with. He was only 20 years old when I was born. After my birth, a good friend of his wrote a poem about me called Me Fuzzy Bear, which he did throughout my life, and then it later became Christy Bear. And eventually, between Harry and I, became Christy Butt and Harry Butt. I remember when I went to day camp in Kentucky as a 5 or 6 year old, and I would cry until my dad came to get me. I never stayed the full day. He loved to do headstands. He would do them on coffee tables. Any coffee table, anywhere, you give him the opportunity to come and do with us. I remember him taking me to my first concert, Chicago and the Doobie Brothers, and complaining about how much pot smoke there was. I remember when Jane Fonda, Tom Hayden, and the brand new baby Troy came to his church in DC. I remember how much fun we had seeing Barry Manilow and Arlo Guthrie in Florida. Arlo was a hoot, and Barry Manilow was an absolute blast, with the women still throwing their panties. I remember when we saw Phil Mickelson at the Players Tournament. and my camera clicking right as Phil was swinging. Harry was the bah humbug in our house, especially about the Christmas tree. But he was also the one who wanted the most presents to open. My dad was a master of the Christmas Eve service. I've spent my adult life looking for a Christmas Eve service like his, and no such luck. He also loved to make clam chowder and French toast. My dad was my hero. He taught me the importance of social justice. My first lesson was in 1972 when we moved to Washington, D.C. We did not like Richard Nixon in our house. So if we saw him on TV, we would thumb our nose jobs. If we drove by the White House, we thumbed our nose twice, just in case he was looking out the window. He took me to political fundraisers. In 1975, Fred Harris was his pick for president. Every time I see a Winnebago, for those of you who remember Fred Harris, I think of Fred and those times with my dad. I was the only 12-year-old I knew that watched the Democratic convention in 1975. And it is because of my dad that I'm now a proud political junkie. He taught me the importance of teaching your kids that standing up for what is right and having a voice is more important than being liked by everyone in the room. He may have regretted that particular lesson when I threatened my middle school with the ACLU when they wouldn't let me pass a petition, or when I got suspended in high school for protesting. He didn't become a minister until I was in high school. I bragged about him becoming a minister, not just any minister, but a Unitarian minister. Nobody knew anything about the inherent worth and dignity of all living beings. Our father, and I think Harry and I both, still like to remind people that a number of the founding fathers were Unitarians. When we lived in Colorado, it seemed like everybody knew my dad. And I was always quick to say, that is my dad. At his installation service at All Souls, his opening song was Rocky Mountain High. On Super Bowl Sunday in 1983, he declared that the Redskins were God's chosen team and then threw a football to the back of the auditorium. Many years after he left Colorado and I was working in politics, I was Unitarian royalty. With my dad at the time a district executive, what I would call the UU version of a bishop, and my late stepfather, Robert Latham, a Unitarian minister as well. And because you can never have too many ministers in one family, my father married Linda in 2004, an American Baptist preacher, though I think he may have managed to convert you to Unitarian. I wish truly that we had gotten more time together, but I know he is now in a better place, and I'm glad that he doesn't have to suffer anymore. So as I was preparing for today, I discovered that in 1972, Father's Day was officially recognized by none other than Richard Milhouse. The proclamation that was signed stated in part, to have a father, to be a father, is to come very near the heart of life itself.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm Harry 4, age 4. It's about 1977, 1978. I really wanted a skateboard. I really wanted a skateboard. And my dad got me one for, I think it was my birthday. We lived at the top of the hill, Garland Avenue in Silver Spring, Maryland. And the sidewalk down that way, about halfway down, 2 sections of the sidewalk were removed, repairing it, and there was all this gravel. So my dad said to me in the morning, "By the way, when I come home from work today, when I come home from the church, I want to see you skate down that old hill." So he was away. I started at the top of our hill on the sidewalk and just went. And I saw the gravel ahead of me, but my dad's voice in my head wanted to skate down the whole hill. I'm skating, and in my mind, I'm thinking I'll just go straight over it. As soon as I hit that gravel, I must have thrown it up and said like 10 feet or something like that. Because I have my dad's voice in my head, I want to see you skate down that whole hill, and I wonder for the rest of my life. Wanting to show my dad that. And how much that played into it. Rippo Flip, Nerdo Bird, Christy Bear. I'm sure with Linda, he had his own sort of created name.
Can you share?
Because he had all kinds of variations, and I'm forgetting like 20 of them. But these were all said in the greatest affection. They were said with great love. And our childhood with our father, boy, he was an involved man. I can show you some pictures over there from the 70s. Usually when he had the dark hair, he still had some hair on top, and the hair was more like this. And he was very involved. He made so much time, it seemed to me. Every slumber party, there'd always be a point where he'd come down with me and my friends, the 5 or 6 of us in the basement. We'd just wear a t-shirt and shorts, come down and we'd jump him and attack him for about 45 minutes. And he'd throw us off, jump him. Taught me how to throw the baseball, taught me how to throw the football, taught me how to play poker. I think like some maybe boys in this world, when I became a teenager, 13, 14, I started to kind of be in competition with my dad. So the kind of, say, a negative relationship, but one where I pulled away started. And it took me a few decades to come back to it. And I think that's a norm, of course, in a way. And I was thinking about today, and there's nothing that can sum up my feelings and my regrets for not spending enough time with him. One time I was on tour with the show, and I was staying with him at his apartment in Boston in the 90s. And we'd get done about 10 p.m. I get home at 11. And I remember the profound disappointment and sadness I felt because I wasn't getting home at 11. Because I was off doing my thing. I think one night I made it home early, and we talked for 20 minutes, but he so wanted to spend the time together. My father was always available, though I never realized it. And I think he did the absolute best he could. In the 80s, at some point, when we were talking to my dad about religion and such, he referred to himself as a Christian humanist. You remember Jerry Falwell and all those people. But my father was a Christian. I know a little bit from the Bible might be nice. It kind of reminded me of him in a way. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore. It's from Romans. but judge this rather that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. And that's my dad. I never saw him. He'd grumble about this at that church member. God forbid if you got up at church and talked too long like I'm doing now. But he was not a cruel man. He was a kind man, and he was always and I probably emulated that probably from kind of Christian roots that I was never even aware of. From a very young age, and took that on. My two main memories of my father are he was the master of Christmas Eve services. Way back when they still used to do services at 11 p.m. In the 70s in Washington, D.C., the most safest I ever felt probably was going to those services, falling asleep at age 9 or 10. And then my father carrying me out of the car. And then we had 9th Avenue, New York City, jump forward to the late 1990s. Beautiful spring day. My dad had come in from White Plains and we're sitting at a cafe. And we sat there about 4 hours just talking. And maybe was a point where I never fully realized that I became completely relaxed and a friend with my father. And how grateful I was. And I wish I could have done that. Been there a lot more for him in the past few years.
So I'm Penny, I'm Harry's favorite sister. I don't really have prepared remarks, but this morning I realized that there is somebody who is not represented here. And that's our younger brother. Jim passed away 2 years ago, very unexpectedly. And then when Harry died, I thought, wow, there's nobody left. But Harry and Jim, Butch and Jim, had this incredible relationship, and I just want to recognize it. Jim was 9 years younger than Harry. He was blind. They were best friends from the get-go. And I think part of it is there were 2 boys, so they got to share a room. And I was the only girl, so I got a room by myself. And even though Jim spent a lot of time away from home going to the Colorado School for the Deaf and Blind, they still were together a lot more than I was. And you heard how funny Harry could be, which he could be, and he had nicknames for everybody. And Jim probably had 27 different nicknames. One of the best was Farsto Spum Bum. And they would wrestle and they would have a great time, and they just really enjoyed one another. And after they no longer lived in proximity to one another, they would get together almost every evening on the phone and talk about sports. We're talking a couple hours. Statistics, team statistics, player statistics, who's going to win, blah, everything. Basketball, football, baseball, it didn't matter. And I asked my brother, both of them actually one time, you ever talk about anything important? And it just, no. When I think of girl talk, when I think of relationships and how your kids are running, that wasn't ever part of the conversation. It was always sports. And as Butch lost his hearing, and then really lost his ability to talk on the phone, they lost that connection, which was really sad. And I think Jim missed it every bit as much as Butch did. So I just want to recognize that between the two of them had a really special relationship. And the other thing I will tell you about Harry is he was my hero as well. And I know I pissed off my mother a lot. But I thought he was really something very special, and we still do, and I miss him a lot.
It's great to see so many people out here. I'm John Hart. I am Harry's brother-in-law and Linda's favorite brother. I want to say a few words from our perspective, but I have to say, I was hearing those phone calls between Jim and Harry all the time. And absolutely right on. And it was out a lot, and they talked 45 minutes a night. And, you know, it was just a wonder to watch that. For our families, my wife Melanie and my sister and I and my mom. Many of you may recall my mom lived with Harry and Linda when they first moved down here in 2012. So you had a husband and a wife and a mother-in-law moving to live together in the same house. I mean, what could go wrong there? But it was absolutely a wonder stop for all three of them. Harry and my mom had a shtick going. I mean, it was Jeopardy after dinner. My mom was a cook, so Harry liked that. Harry loved to eat. I don't know if they knew any of the answers, but they loved sitting together and they loved to follow the contestants. And somehow, my mom, who never was involved in sports, Harry was able to convey to her the love of watching golf. And we'd come home and my mom would say, "Ooh, you see that tiger?" I think Phil was her favorite. So, speaking of golf, in the far corner is a picture of H2. We've heard from H4. We're talking about H3. There's H2. Harry came from a family that played golf. And I am told that Harry, as a young man, was very good. I didn't get to play with him until later in life. I missed all of what you talked about. I only know Harry from his later years. It wasn't so good. Harry and I would play with a gentleman named Rock. And we never added a fourth because we were all so terrible. We didn't want to embarrass ourselves. You know, typically we play and maybe Harry would get an 8 and Rock a 9. I could be in double digits or below. And this is a par 3. I mean, really. Here comes Harry's win. Harry and I were playing back in dark. Rock was always on. And Harry was saying, "Boy, that Rock was having a bad day." It was fun to see. Harry did have a bit of an acerbic win. He really did. But just like you said, it was always out of caring. And it was playful. Playful was the word. When I think of what Harry was like, you ever have a cat that just kind of you nuzzle up with a cat takes its paw and kind of taps you, tap, trying to elicit some response. He was very much like that. And oh boy, did he love cats and dogs. The team here was Schmutz. Poor Linda has lost Harry. And then Chitters, who was a treasured cat for a long Chitters is passed. And Honey. Honey was the dog that Harry absolutely spoiled to no end. But boy, did they love. I can picture him now sitting on the porch at 1602 Highland Dunes. Honey, you know, in his lap, and he's feeding all the other dogs. It was chaos when another dog came by. And when Harry went into Lakeside, thank goodness, good friends, Evie and Steve Mobbs found a great new loving home for Hunter, which is great.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you guys.
And she's 14 and doing well.
Harry's love of animals extended to just about any animal charity that he could find. His love of social justice continued, and his generosity to those sources continued. Any social justice, especially African American or underprivileged, he was always there. He was always very caring and loyal. Alumni associations, historical societies. Harry was very engaged and he enjoyed that. He was also a bit of a character. A genuine character, and a prankster. I mean, really, he was a prankster. To the very end, because Penny, you'll recall, when we went to the hospice and Harry had passed, we walk into the room, and there's a big board on the wall with Harry's allergies, and it says, broccoli. There's no other medicine up there, just a broccoli. That was in his chart. Okay, it's an eggplant. It wasn't in his chart, obviously. That's my point. Okay, let's move on. What I loved about Harry is, this is the man to wear the brightest pink or purple shirt with beads and just be really comfortable. He didn't care what anybody else was. And it was wonderful. He could wear Yankees gear, obnoxious, big, monstrous Yankee gear in the deep south. And I also learned from Harry what a joy it is to have a breakfast with some retired old friends. And I'm talking about the Romeos now. Harry was my ticket into the Romeos because when Harry went to Lakeside, he needed to be driven to Romeos. I was the guy. And when Harry then moved to Osprey, we added Bob Keene to the equation. And so I would drive down, I'd pick Harry and Bob up, and we go to Romeos. And that became a little much after a while because, as we talked about, Harry had trouble talking and Bob had trouble walking. And it became a little much. Gene, as Gene often does, helped out. But Harry and Bob were quite a pair together down at Osprey. One occasion, they actually made a little escape. Now, Bob Keene would do anything, but I don't think it was Bob's idea. I don't know how Harry communicated, but he did. But Harry had a lot of good friends in the Romeos, and he'd be really pleased that so many of you are out here today. And I'm humbled to have you as friends as well. In his later days, Harry had trouble expressing his thoughts. They were in there, but he had trouble getting them out. I had a little bit of a knack for doing that. Usually when we were driving back and forth from Romeos, and we would be maybe at the airport circle, which is a busy intersection, and Harry was mumbling prior to that, and then clear as a bell. Don't go now, there's a car coming. I'm really good at eliciting those kind of excited utterances. I did it just this morning with my sweet cousin Lauren. I'm sorry, Lauren. I do it with Penny when I take her to the airport, but Penny, you've been really good with I want to close there with Penny and Penny's family and all that. So through Harry, we, Melanie, and Linda, our lives have been enriched because we have gotten to know Penny, and Kate, and Megan, Christy, Milan, and Harry Ford, and Logan and Barbie, who are here today. We look forward to following your careers and your exploits. And I think Sam and Abby are on the video. So Sam, it's been wonderful following your career, and Abby, and your exploits. And we hope to do that in the future, well into the future. So to Harry Carnahan Green, the third. We thank you for the love you gave us, for the legacy you left us, and for the life you
Well, I don't know about you all, but I'm just wild about Harry. That's kind of how it was coming into the museum. Harry approached me in August of 2012. Bright pink shirt. And the greeter says to me, oh, by the way, I'm Thea from the museum. And the greeter calls up to my office and says, I got a gentleman here. I told him you were busy. He said he'd wait. Okay, what is his name? His name is Harry Green. I don't have an appointment with the Harry Green. He said, that's okay. You'll want to see him. I said, okay. So I go running down the stairs, and there's this gentleman with a hat on. And you know, if you know anything about me, if you're wearing a hat, I'm going to talk to you. Because I have on a hat. And he says, hi, I'm Harry Green, and I'm delighted to meet you. And I said, well, hi, Harry Green. I'm Thea Seagraves. I'm delighted to meet you. And he goes, well, I'd like to be a volunteer. I said, okay. Then follow me. And as he followed me up the steps, and if you've ever been to the museum, it's okay to get up the steps. But he had no trouble. And then he saw my costume closet. And Harry said, ooh, will you dress me? And at that point, I knew I had met my kindred spirit. Not only did we have what was supposed to be a 30-minute meeting, it turned into an hour and a half. And while talking to Harry, I discovered all kinds of great things about him. That his name was Butch, that he loved animals, that he had a sister who told him he should get involved with the museum. And I want to thank you because he was a godsend. And Harry and I established a relationship from that day on. Besides, I got to dress him. And he was very meticulous. Well, I don't know, that color doesn't look good on me. But let's try it. It's a different shade of pink. And he goes, wow, that looks pretty good, but do you have a hat? And of course, I had a hat. And at that point, once I put this bowler on his head, I knew that that was going to be my future Senator David Yulee. Now, if you know anything about David Yulee, he is quite opposite of Harry, which is a treasure in itself. Because when you have opposites, they dig deeper into understanding each other. Well, David wasn't there to understand Harry, but Harry sure understood David Yulee. And he would portray him to students that were second graders or fourth graders or high schoolers or college. And he did it quite well. And he would portray David Yulee to adults. And it would just warm my heart to see him talk about this man who was his opposite. Because he researched him. He tried to understand everything that Yulee was about. Because remember, Harry was the opposite. Harry believed in the rights of everybody. And Yulee just kind of bended with the wind. But Harry would stand his ground. And he did it very nicely. But the joy was seeing him when the kids came in. Because he would open up with this rough voice. Hello. Take your seats. I'm Senator David Yulee. And then he would take his hat and tap it. And then put it down. And then he would go on about the history. And the kids would sit there for an hour. Now, it's hard to hold kids' attention for an hour. But they would just go. Because he had that way about him. Long about 2018, we got a little animal in the museum. Actually, it was probably before that. But Harry and this animal were very connected. It was a little dog called Yoda. And every Thursday, when Harry came in to be the docent, at 11 o'clock, he would come 30 minutes early so he could bring a treat to Yoda. And he would play with Yoda. And this Yoda would hang out in the executive director's office. Now, whether Phyllis was in there or not, only Harry could go in when Phyllis wasn't in there and Yoda was in there. And when Phyllis wasn't there and Yoda was in there, the only person who could get in, because Yoda was very protective, was Harry. We were all wild about Harry. We loved him to the day he decided that Senator David Yulee needed to be turned over to another volunteer. Harry stayed with us for a good 8 years, and I loved him every single minute, because if you met Harry, you were wild about him too.
In the obituary about Harry, it talks about his life and studies and work and all those things. But what you get about Harry that I knew and appreciated was he just wasn't from here. He wasn't really from New York, and he really wasn't from West Point, and he really wasn't from all those places that he lived. 34 different places in his lifetime. Harry was a citizen of the world. I wish there was a place in our passports that said that. That said, I'm not just from here. I'm from where you're from. I want to know where you're from. I want to know your home. I want to celebrate your being. I want to celebrate who you are. And my meeting and knowing Harry was through Linda. Linda worked with me and helped me as a chaplain at the hospital. So my times with Harry were lightly social in those occasions. But he was unique and powerful in his presence in all those ways. He was a citizen of the world. Theologian and educator James Fowler writes about the stages of faith development, all the way from infancy to the stage that he calls universalizing faith. I don't think that's where the Unitarian Universalist Church gets its name, but it's a good beginning there. He says, when we have both emotional self-awareness, but also a faith more global, accepting, then we are at the point of universalizing faith. Fowler says, people in this final and exceptional stage feel deeply connected to all humans and the divine. They see everyone's worth and dignity, no matter what their beliefs. They are fully committed to compassion, justice, and helping others. For more information, see Harry. Fowler says of the stages of development, very few people get to that stage of universalizing faith. The older we get, the more perspective we gather, the more or less unique we are when we see that we are a citizen of the world. The world is not ours. We belong to the world. So I see those whose spirits are understanding and a deepening awareness of what's sacred to them. But they get there because they figure out what is sacred to you. They get there because they're finding out what is sacred to someone else. And they're not going to convince you that your sacred is wrong because their sacred is more valuable. They can sit in the sacred with arms wide open. Harry was such a person. Harry really didn't have a hometown. As I said, he lived in 34 places in 13 different states over his lifetime. And when you were talking, Christy, my best friends are from Centre College. They're here. And his name is Harry. We're going to look at, my friend has dementia. He won't remember, but I can find his yearbook. And then I grew up in Chapel Island. So I probably drove by in my convertible and winked at you. In all those places that you were. All those places that Harry called home, though, were places where his life could make a difference. So I want you to think about this. Harry had the hometown of curiosity. He lived there some, didn't he? Harry had the hometown of history. From David Yulee to all those people in history that he studied at Centre College. Harry lived in the hometown of justice. He would invite you to come visit anytime. Harry lived in a hometown of service. He practiced that, he lived that, he taught that. Harry lived in the hometown of compassion. I think if you look up who is the best son-in-law in the world, it'll say, for more information, see Harry Green. And Harry lived in many other hometowns. What would you say would be a hometown that Harry lived in? Just kind of shout it out to me. What would be a hometown that you thought Harry lived in? What would be a word?
Comedy.
Hometown of comedy, humor. You betcha.
Advisor.
Oh, hometown of advice, counselor. Who else?
Pet sanctuary. Pet sanctuary.
Pet sanctuary. Where else did Harry live?
Humility.
Humility. He wasn't first. Where else?
Fighting wit that crossed over into sarcasm.
Oh, the hometown of sarcasm. You might be welcome, you might not. Yes.
The house of kindness.
The house, the state, the place of kindness. Any other? Wow.
Golf.
That's not a state.
That's religion.
You know, there was a town back post-Civil War. I think it was started a little gathering place during the Civil War along the railroad. That was a place called Thankful. That's where Harry lived at the end. Yes.
There's a little town in California called Rough and Ready. And from the wrestling he did with the boys and
The hometown of Rough and Ready in California. That's a real place in
it's a real
California.
place. I lived there.
So Harry, in our gathering today, we have embraced this,
Good one.
that he is a person of many places that he lived, of many places he called home, but of a strength and a faith and a call to humanity that lets you be welcome and loved in there. You know, the diseases that take our mind first are so cruel. Because there's always so much more, as you said, that wants to come out. Lean in, spend time, let the ramblings go on, because there's story later. And as a poet said, it will do you no good later to put your ear to the ground. So this is a collection of poetry printed in the 40s. One of my favorite collections of 101 famous poems. It's helped me a lot when I don't know the words to what I'm thinking and feeling. This last one will do, I think, again, seeing when I read so many of these, I kept thinking of what I knew and what you have shared of Harry. It's by Maltby Davenport Babcock. And he wrote it sometime around 1899. Be strong. We are not here to play, to dream, to drift. We have hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not the struggle, face it. 'Tis God's gift. Be strong. Say not the days are evil, who's to blame? And fold the hands in acquiescence, oh shame. Stand up, speak out, and bravely in God's name. Be strong. It matters not how deep entrenched the wrong, how hard the battle goes, how long. Faint not, fight on. Tomorrow comes the song. Be strong. Would you allow stillness in moments as I offer thanksgiving and benediction? I thank you, O God, for the thread of people who enter the fabric of my life, the fabric of this world, the fabric of humanity, who sing and strengthen and wish to be more than their struggles could ever prevent. I thank you, God, for the thread of life and love, for the grace of knowing and knowing of Harry. Now grant us the courage to live well, to love well, to listen longer, to be grateful for all that you've granted into our world, and especially this one, your child, your servant, Harry Green. Amen. Okay, that's where you.
One more song.
One more song. We have one more song.
Guide my hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain.
First verse, let's do the first verse. If we don't have it for it.
On my feet while I run this race. On my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain.
It is such a pleasure to honor Harry today. Linda, I thank you so much for inviting us to do this. My name is Les DeMuro. I have with me the leader of the U.S. Navy Band for 30 years, Mr. Jim Malcolm on trumpet. We're so honored to do this for Harry. Hearing all the incredible, beautiful spiritual feelings that you all shared for this man, I couldn't help to think that Harry's up there with my Harry right now, and that is Harry James. Harry James was his drummer for 12 years. I know Harry and Harry are hanging out up there, and they're having a party. Now, we're going to play a second line, and Linda asked me to explain what a second line is, because Harry loved New Orleans music. Second line is when a certain person passes away, and you mourn his passing. And they would play something very, very slow. They call it a dirge. And I'm going to demonstrate that rhythm in a second. Then, once they get to the cemetery, and they bury the body, it's a celebration of life. And they play the same tune, like Closer Walk with Thee, which we're going to play. And they double the tempo. So instead of the groove being very sad, all of a sudden it's and you know what happens? Everybody shakes the booty. Everybody shakes the booty and has a ball. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start with that dirge. But we did something special. I want to explain what we're going to do first. First, we have to have some New Orleans beans. The first New Orleans beans to Linda. I also want to give you a tambourine. So when we do the second one, you are in the band.
Pass that down to Mary, Libby, she's got
it. She must love it.
Yeah, she's on the very end, right by the piano.
handkerchief at your feet. What a great way to end a delightful and honoring celebration of the light. They've made arrangements for some light refreshments, and so please stay and share stories and talk and enjoy this time as we continue in our sense of gratitude and honoring for Harry. God bless. Thank you.
My popsicle or yours?
I believe it's yours.
Was it? Don't take it.
Nope, yeah, I already had mine.
Because I couldn't think where I put it. Oh, and it's a red one.
That's a good one.
There you go. I get it.
It's going to be available to be seen anywhere?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have a link that we'll be creating a highlight of this. So if you want to, we'll be emailing it out. If you have an email address or you want to get with Penny, we'll send out the link for
I
you.
see Linda all the time at church. So
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll have the link sent out for
Because
you.
one of the men they mentioned, Rock, was a golfing buddy of ours.
Oh, very
who has
nice.
Moved to North Carolina, so I'd like them to see.
Yeah, this will be great.
Terrific.
Perfect. Thank you.
I want to know how all this goes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I kept coughing.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, just live streaming for family that couldn't be
I
here.
knew it, you had an animal who was taking care of it.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Sat right next to
No
you.
problem at all.
Yeah. You know, it works great going there because she doesn't have to be there. We can just get in, do whatever, leave, go do whatever, come back. And then we just get together for dinner and it works out. Yeah, it's perfect. But she's been so generous. It's been so helpful.
You got an extra one.
Not a lot of people. I don't know. Well, if you're ever going on a trip with me, it's slowly feeling like home. But it's good to be back here. Are you Oh yeah, it's great. I moved in January. I saw you at Mia Lee's the other day. This is a nice way to go. But this is a surprise. What's going on with you? Sounds like it's fun It's a personal thing to anybody, but you know, by sharing it, somebody's going to get some benefit from it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Do you know anybody who's had the same situation that you can talk to? Or? Well, I know somebody You're basically healthy. I mean, you seem to be. So just stay on that path. It's a rough thing to do. Yes, and I like to try things that haven't been done before, and if nothing else, you'll be curious and you'll be learning too. And like you said, it's going to help somebody. I wish you have kind of luck and strength and all that stuff.
I'm gonna have a nice one. It happened. I got the email, the message yesterday morning at 6 a.m. I know. And I'm over the age limit, 5 years over the age limit. Yeah, they have 75-year age limit. But I did all the tests they required, I did later tests, and so the doctor I'm seeing, the transplant nurse's name is Virginia. My name is Virginia.
Oh my God.
She advocated for me. Virginia. So, yeah.
I'm so happy.
And I want to come to the next small group because the topic is ridiculous. I said, come on. We went up there. Yeah, we went up there. A couple weeks ago, it was 27 degrees. It was nice. It was Well, she's either coming in hard. Everything is hard. And anything is better than being there.
Much better.